Welcome back to the For the Kingdom podcast. You're here with your host, Faith, and here we talk all things faith, love, kingdom growth, and having those tough conversations. So today, y'all, we're talking about no days off, all about perseverance, resilience, strength, all of that, how, it's easy to go when everything's easy and when it's comfortable, but then when things get tough, it's harder to want to keep doing whatever you're doing. I know for myself, I've always been someone, and I'm working on it, that's like, okay, when it gets hard, quit. That's my first response. If I don't feel like it, don't. And I've seen that in a lot of areas of my life, like whether it's health, my education. I know back in college, my freshman year, it was 2020, so this was pandemic year. I was at Alabama, and my major at the time was nursing. So I was taking chemistry, I was taking computer credit. I didn't know that it was a coding class, the computer class. But yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was good. So I get to college and, living that college lifestyle, going to parties, drinking stuff, finding out what I like to drink, having, that freedom from your parents. I can do what I want. Like, I turn the air on what I want to be on. That type of freedom. So after about 2 weeks into my freshman year, it set in. Chemistry, my professor, she was foreign, so I didn't know. I was taking this hard class, and I didn't understand what my teacher was saying. That coding class, that was the hardest class I've ever had in my life. Like, it was so challenging for me. And I had both of those together, and it's still the pandemic year. I can't see my friends. We can't even eat in the cafeteria. Like, I'm in isolation. And I started having anxiety. So all of a sudden, I start waking up at 2, 3 in the morning. I can't eat, can't go back to sleep, all this stuff. I'm nervous, I'm shaking and jittery, all types of stuff. I remember calling my mom on the phone crying and saying, I got to drop out. I got to withdraw. I'm going to have to go home and go to the community college up the street. Like, I can't do this. This is too much. I'm feeling stuff I've never felt before, all that. And it's like, my first instinct was to quit, was to leave college and, like, just do my own thing at home and basically just accept the failure or whatever. But thank God that I did not. Yes, prayer and spending time with God, that's where I really began my relationship with God anyway. But prayer and reading my Bible, starting a devotion book, like going to the church, because I was watching my church online because I was 2 hours away, but going in person where I could see people and actually gain community, that helped. But I also had to go to office hours with my professor. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing in this class? I had to get help doing the outside breaks. Like, when I'm taking a break from studying, walking outside, getting fresh air. And I ended up passing the class. Not just passing, I think I aced it. But basically, I'm learning not to let quitting be the first result or first resort whenever something's tough. It's not comfortable, but there's just other avenues you got to take to get through it. Even with my health, like, I talked a lot about that in a previous episode, but the whole up and down, all or nothing approach. You lose 5 pounds, gain 15, da-da-da-da. And I was basing it on, like, okay, the birthday's passed, the wedding's over, now I can go back to eating how I want to eat. That's not persevering. That's like, once I reached this event, then I can just start over, and it was a toxic cycle. Yeah.
So, yeah. the ability to persevere
Mm-hmm.
and the persevering itself, you said you turn to God in prayer. Does that come from God? Or that ability He put inside you already?
Good question, because I was raised in church, so I knew about God and grew up. So, it wasn't hard for me to turn to God. It was probably number 3 because I was turning to melatonin gummies and and parties and everything. Like, I would just really want to be around people, like to basically take my mind off the anxiety, be around my friends and go out with them. I didn't turn to God first.
So you pivoted toward you pivoted toward persevering out of necessity, because you knew that what you need to do.
Necessity. And as tough and awful as it was, I'm glad it happened, because if it didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have the relationship with God that I have now.
So the teacher that you had was from Zimbabwe. You said you couldn't understand.
I could not, and that's not a class you don't want to miss the teacher on.
I mean, I'm making a comical, but still, I believe if you can ask God for one thing, you can ask Him for all things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I know I made it comical. But some people might be in school to listen now, and then you have culture difference, you have language barriers, that you have, but you need to do this, and you don't need that to make you quit. And the adversary was, just the fact that you mentioned it, the adversary would throw it in there. I couldn't understand what she was saying, and I need to have it, he or she, who it was. And I just wanted to know, was that gift in you, or did you ask for it? Persevere. When you call Mama crying.
Honestly, I was just asking God to take this feeling away, because I was tired of having those knots in my stomach and not able to eat and sleep. So, I probably, looking back on it, I would change my prayer. Like, God, give me the strength to to prosper through this. Because the anxiety, it didn't leave once I started praying. I dealt with that the whole semester. I knew I had an anchor to stand on. Like, I knew, okay, yes, I'm feeling this, but I can make it through it. I can still succeed in this class. And this is not forever, this feeling. It's just something I'm having to work through. Because I expected everything to be easy. Like, I'm going to go to school, in 4 years, graduate. I didn't know I was going to deal with that.
Okay, without getting off your subject, what's the subject?
No days off. Perseverance, no days off.
No days off. So, you did not ask for this cup to pass from you. Because, it's this other dude, he was suffering from anxiety, because he knew what was going to happen in a few days from now. So he asked God to let this cup pass from him. Then he straightened up, pivoted, and said,
Nevertheless. Not my will, but your will be done. Yeah. I would have prayed that looking back now, and I'll take that with me. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that, what Jesus was feeling like. He knew everything He was going to endure for us, the pain, the suffering, the shame, all of that. And He still said, He asked for another way out.
Yeah.
He asked for,
if there was another
if there's another way, let this cup,
He didn't really ask for another way out. He said, if you got one now in the closet, let's use that one. But then he said, I can't.
Not my will, but your will. That's a powerful prayer. Any thoughts, Auntie?
When you guys were talking about that, 2 things came to mind, is that life is a series of pivots. Things happen so that it gives you a personal experience to apply the word to your life. You knew the scripture. Perhaps you didn't. You were now in a space to apply it as Faith, the young adult who's away from home. So it took you a minute to get there. So, that's lifing. And the manual, the seeds have been placed in you to apply. And because of whose you are and how you were raised, you were able to get there.
It's in those pivots that show you why you believe what you believe. Because my belief went from, it changed from being based on my parents, they trained me up in this way, to now I actually know God for myself. because I've seen them in my life. I'm not just, Faith, why are you a Christian? Oh, my mom. No. Nah. I was down bad in my dorm room.
This is my next question. This one's something to record. It was on there. Because I didn't go to college. I sent 2 jokers to college, but I didn't go to college. Okay.
Don't crash out now.
I had some money, went to some colleges. How is it like, and explain it to me while you're talking to the audience, how is it like when you leave home and those rules you said, I can leave the air on? Explain that to me, how it is. If you can still remember, when you first go off to college and you're off on your own.
It's like a whole new world. It's like, okay, I don't got, like, you're not held accountable to anyone, really. Like, it's just yourself. You go and leave as you please. Go wherever you want to go. Like, certain places you couldn't go, your parents won't let you go in now. Certain things you couldn't do, certain times you have to be back home. There is no curfew. Now, not to say it won't affect you in the morning, but yeah, it's like, it's the freedom. I love the freedom. But mine has some parameters around it because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So I couldn't really get too far out there. That is tough, though, because if you're raised in church or with these Christian beliefs, you're presented with the drugs and alcohol to party, and it's like in the back of your mind, I've been told not to do this, but there's kind of a rush with doing it. Because you've been, rebellion.
Okay.
Do you find yourself now being more the free person that you were when you went to college the first time, or now being more like you were raised but making that decision for yourself?
Like with my spiritual walk, or
but just with your choices, like you first go to college,
I like that.
Now you can choose certain things. So do you find yourself choosing to be more like structured, like you were raised as a young Faith, or the freedom of choosing? Like, does it make sense?
Yes. I feel more free because, okay, I got a taste of it. Like, I wasn't sheltered from all these things now. It was out and open. I tried things. I did a whole bunch of stuff. But now it's like, okay, I know how it feels to actually partake in those certain environments and things now. And I have a different perspective. I'm not really missing anything. It was fun, but now I realize, okay, there's certain things I don't need. Yeah. That's a good question.
Well, thank you for opening yourself up and putting yourself out there. Like I said, y'all said I can.
I'm here all night.
Yeah, y'all said that I can do this. So, how do you feel? And I've asked this before when both of y'all were here. How do you feel knowing now that you can put this out here where Grandma and them gonna hear?
Sorry, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. Free, like we talked about in tug of war. I think it's like a. Yeah. I mean, because if you're still doing it, you're not going to want to talk about it. Or if you're ashamed of it. I don't take nothing from my experience.
Yeah, there's no condemnation in Christ.
Exactly.
Right.
There's, yeah.
Because this could also go back to the episode about forgiveness, right? Like, God has already paid for it. I'm not saying all of it was wrong, right? But if it's paid for, and he's already died, not if, he's already died and paid for every sin that we could have ever committed. So why be ashamed?
If anything, I would think parents and grandparents would be proud in a sense that, oh, you know Jesus for yourself. You're not just hanging on to my coattail. Right. That should be a good thing, something to rejoice about. You're
right. That's a great point, because the celebration part of it is, now I know for myself. Yeah. I'm not going off your experience. I know for myself, and I'm choosing to be the way that I am. Yeah.
Yep. Train up a child. There she go. It's telling you did something right. You planted the seed. So with that, let's talk about the power of words. So I was basically declaring those things over my life. Like, I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm going to flunk out of school. I'm speaking that And that's just I'm more susceptible to believe it because I'm speaking it. And my lifestyle is going to come into alignment with what I'm saying. Oh, maybe I really can't do this. Maybe I really should go back home and drop out of school. So the way you talk, be careful with the words that you allow to come out your mouth, because you're obviously eventually going to start believing it, and you're speaking it over your situation.
Yeah. There's a theory that I've heard in theology of reverse faith. If we believe God apply everything that we say, if we believe, and then we say, you know what, it's cold, this weather is killing me. Or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And with this podcast you're talking about, I can't do that, I can't do that. But once you keep saying that and you start believing it yourself, you can't do it.
That happened with the podcast with Auntie in the corner. We were on FaceTime and we were doing a mock session. I just froze up because I was stumbling and stuttering. I just said, I can't do this. She said, what you mean you can't do it?
Let's tell all of it, right? Let's put it in context.
Yeah. Story time.
In between the seasons, we practice using technology, right? FaceTime. Mm-hmm. And we had been on FaceTime about 15, 20 minutes having a great conversation. But we had not gone into our practice session. So I'm like, hey, ready, set, go. And Faye says, can I put you on audio? Absolutely not. We've been on the phone for 15, 20 minutes having a great conversation.
I said, can I turn the camera off?
Absolutely. But the beauty in all of that was this. So let's talk about how we talked about annoyance, or I don't want to say anger, but I'll just say annoyance. Had I not shown frustration at that moment, she wouldn't have felt the way she felt and responded the way she responded. And I'm like, oh, okay, this time I had to I had to let her feel it. Did it feel good? Absolutely not. But I had to let her feel it so that she could understand what she needed to do. Mm-hmm. So now, explain what you did after my absolutely not response. So what did you do?
So after that, I started practicing in the mirror and practicing recording myself, like on my phone, like I'm actually doing the podcast. And it built my confidence.
Are you skipping something?
I did make some affirmations. Is that what we're talking about?
No, but keep going.
Okay. I had some biblical affirmations I put on my mirror that I would quote over myself before I started, and in the morning, the power of words. What am I forgetting?
I asked you, I made the comment, you need to figure out why you're feeling fear.
Oh, that's the biggest part.
That's the biggest part.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
You don't have to explain the reason.
No, it's good.
From a moment that I felt like a teachable moment that happened between us, she couldn't skip over why she was feeling fear, because she would have kept feeling fear. And not that I think that maybe you still. I'm not saying that fear is 100% gone, but now that because you actually shared with me top level. Once I started to understand why, you were able to overcome it. Yes.
So basically, I'll say elementary school, middle school. I think like giving presentations, that used to just make me so anxious. Like even driving up to school, like as soon as we get to the door, my stomach's in knots and I'm anxious. And I'm worried about what if I get called on today in class? And I remember, I'll let y'all know my humor is not funny. It's just, now it's funny. Okay. Well, people used to make fun of me when I would speak up in class, like how my voice sounded, or if it cracked, or if I was jittery, whatever. And I was kind of, I don't know, identifying with that. Like I guess I wanted to refrain from people making fun of me. So I had a fear of that, fear of embarrassment, and trying to perform for people and stuff like that. So I think that was the root of that anxiety and that fear. Talking in front of people, making presentations, all this has been building up since middle school, elementary school, from being made fun of for doing that.
And look at God, a person that was scared to talk wants to do a podcast.
That's how you know it's God, when you don't want to do it at first.
And you overcame it. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a pivot came in all of our life in some way. But even with this podcast, without rambling so long, when we decided to do it for God, I think in a way, He gave us the strength to do it instead of the spirit of fear.
Yes. Like Auntie said, that doesn't mean the fear is 100% gone. That stuff comes up probably every time we record. But knowing who God is, who I am in Christ, that helps me to get over that and overcome it. And the more I do it, the more I rely on God to get me through it. So what? The fear is here. I'm still going to do this episode. I'm still going to help somebody. Like, your purpose, it matters more than that fear. Like, that purpose, okay, this isn't about me. This is about helping somebody else overcome their fears. That increases confidence to still walk out on faith.
So Sluey might as well take his pitchfork and go somewhere else.
Choice words. Yes. And even we're talking about fear and anxiety with the podcast, but even the good things, like, oh, we wrapped up season 1. Let me just go on a hiatus. Oh, persevere. There's no days off in off season. What can I do for our clips? What can I do to prepare for topics for the next season? It's easy to get comfortable in, okay, we just finished the episode. Okay, let me chill till next week and then start preparing. I'm learning that right now.
Right. So it's really a series of transitions, right? Like when this season ends, you go into preparation for the next season. And you know, it's things that we're doing behind the scenes that we have to go into the transition. And it just, you know, season 2 may end, but another season starts.
Don't just do what's required.
And that even happens like in our environment, right? Like summer transitions to fall. Fall transitions, you know, into winter. But it happens again. It's not like you don't have any other winters. You have another winter, but it's a different experience of the next winter and so forth. Similar, but a different type.
And also, it's hard to persevere when you're living for people's approval instead of living from God's approval. Like, if I would have stopped, I had in my mind, okay, when we dropped this podcast, millions of views. Views. My mind was set on views. And it's like, if it's 1 view or 1 million, keep going. Give it 100%. Give it your all. Like, if people like it, if people comment, or if they don't, you should still give 100% in what you're doing.
What did y'all producers say about it? Don't look at the comments. You know, he don't say that no more.
I wasn't scared. Hey, y'all bite back. No, I'm just playing. I don't bite back.
And to your point of viewership, who are you doing it for?
Audience of 1, people.
Yeah, and you and also to add, you're being obedient to what God told you to do.
Stop waiting on people's applause.
Yeah.
Clap for yourself.
You know, and just in case people haven't picked up on it yet, this is a godly podcast. That's what we talk about. We'll talk about everyday life, relationship, dating.
Heavy on D.
Yeah.
So now we're going to shift to the spiritual aspect, because I know it can be hard to persevere when you're battling shame and guilt for sins or addictions or temptations and stuff like that. And we talked about that in Tug of War, you know, how we sometimes expect, because we're following Christ, there should be no temptation. But no, temptation, that is honestly a sign to keep going, that you're doing something right. If you've quit something and you're still being tempted to go back to it, that could be a sign that you're on the right track. And I'll also say, because I know, especially with lust, after saying, okay, God, I'm going to lay this at your feet, I'm going to stop doing this, stop going these places, stop sneaking around, whatever, and then you drop the ball, you fall short, you go back to it, it's like, dang, God, you really don't want nothing to do with me. Like, you don't want to hear from me or nothing, because I just picked that back up. I just returned to that. You got to persevere through that shame and that guilt, because that's not God putting that shame on you. That's the devil. Because there is now, therefore, no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. I would say that. Also with spiritual, place your faith and trust in God alone. not his vessels. Because, like we talked about the scandals coming out on people and stuff like that, just because a scandal came out on somebody, that doesn't mean, well, if they doing that, I might as well go back into my sin too. I think that's something. What's y'all's take on that? Like when the headlines come out on the pastor or the preacher, they stealing money, they sleeping around.
From that perspective, it's just knowing God for yourself and having that relationship and knowing when to apply His word. You know, as you were talking, I was thinking, what a fitting into the season. Because when I think about tug of war, when I think about purpose over comfort, 70 times 7, the forgiveness, anger, and how to manage that, putting all those together is like the ingredients for preservation, right? It's knowing when to know that it's purpose over comfort. I'm doing this for you, you know, for you know the plans, you know, knowing that and knowing how to apply it gives you the strength to preserve, right? To fight through it. So it's when you have a relationship and when you study, you can apply, and at some point you know when to use that verse. It's kind of like lifting weights. When you're lifting weights, you may start off with a 5 pound, and maybe that's heavy. And maybe you can't do a certain amount of reps, but you keep trying or you keep lifting, and then you're lifting 10 pounds. So you don't stop. I mean, these situations happen so that you can apply and be strong and know what to do when you have that moment again.
And the end of spiritual perseverance of the goal is to accomplish your goal. And while you was talking, and since I'm here with females, I was thinking about that woman that had the issue. Yeah. And how she persevered is meaning that she had to go against the Leviticus laws. The Leviticus laws said that really she was supposed to let everybody know, according to the Leviticus law, that she was unclean. She's supposed to shout it, unclean, unclean. But because she wanted something so desperate that she went home, changed her clothes, fixed herself up, had to patch herself up so she can last long enough to get where she was going. I'm not a woman, but y'all know what I mean. She had to patch herself up enough to get there where she was going without exposing herself, and persevere through the crowd. And just, if I can just do this, and Jesus turned around and told me, you persevered because your faith has made you whole. That's a spiritual perseverance. When we're in church, or we in the world, or we in life, and we're leaning on the spiritual part of it, we got to persevere saying, God, don't do it.
And she dealt with so much at once. The woman with the issue of blood, not only was she sick, but she was paying all types of money to these doctors who, I think they was hoodwinking her, but she was giving them all her money and they couldn't fix it and heal it and all this stuff. And then the public humiliation, like if you are unclean, they're shaming you, telling you to get gone somewhere. You're not just sick, you're dealing with all this other stuff too. And she still pressed her way, literally.
Yeah, pressed her way. That's what old people say, pressed her way.
Yeah.
And how strong. I mean, once that happens, like, been there, done that.
Yep.
Like, you already know what to do. You know,
Back to your college, before, we got a few more minutes, before you wrap up, just think about where you would have been if you hadn't persevered to get to this point. Really. You think what you have been. Yeah. There's people that live in this world that never smoked. He never had a cigarette to his mouth. Don't know what a beer tastes like. But Johnny Taylor wrote a song about it.
I'll be honest, that was a thought in my mind.
As bad as everybody else. But when you see, you quote the scripture, there's no condemnation. And you can walk in church and you don't forgave yourself. You ain't walking from God. You can't use me because I did this.
It was on my mind, like maybe I should try smoking because it'll temporarily take away this feeling that I hate so much. Like when you're persevering with God and just God alone, it is a process. Like you can go to the world and get these temporary feelings, but I was about to be spending money just to come back down to my problems. You know, as soon as that high wear off, that as soon as I get sober, the hangover over, I'm right back there. Yeah, it was definitely a thought.
Right, and I think just as we're just processing at this moment is having a goal. Like, what are you? If you know why you're doing it, then that can help guide. Like, you know, with the case with the woman with the issue of blood, she's seeking to get healed, and she know who's the ultimate healer. So, am I about to go with tradition and like, man, I know I'm not supposed to be out, or hey, now I'm getting to the healer. I'm like, you know, so what's guiding you, and who, and what are you doing it for? Like everything that we do should be to glorify His name. Right? We're vessels. So that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but we do know what to do to get there. So.
Not easy, but it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with college, like that played a big part in my journey because I just picked a major. My sister was a nursing major. I was like, okay, let me pick this and make money, and I'm helping kids. But what did I genuinely wanted to do? I really didn't know. I changed my major like twice. And I think that played a part. Like if I knew, okay, I want to really be in the counseling field, helping people, it would have probably motivated me more to persevere and stay there. But I'm glad it happened how it did. Motivation, you need discipline. I need a discipline.
No days off, but it's like, keep going.
Press your way.
Each, even when you're using GPS and you make a wrong turn, the GPS doesn't turn off. What does it do? It reroutes you. So each decision is a reroute to get to the destination. Just another way to look at it.
I like that. And I know some saints are going to think, well, on the 7th day He rested, so no days off. That's not. Of course, rest is important. We're not saying work yourself to death, you know. Very, very, very special guest with me today, y'all. My pastor, the very own Bishop Thomas Davis Jr. How you doing tonight, Bishop?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you for having
How you doing tonight, Bishop?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you for having me. I think it'll bless people. I think the younger generation, especially Faith's age and that generation, they want people who are real.
Definitely.
And you might not know everything. We none of us know everything. We might not know a lot of scriptures, but we know ourselves.
That's how you draw people.
And so when and the two, you never should forget your testimony.
I have some criteria now when it comes to being my pastor. I need you to give me the word, give me the biblical truth, be approachable, and make me laugh. And he does it all and more. Even that.
And they did that when Jesus came and He resurrected Lazarus, right? Some of the complaints was, well, you're not supposed to do it on this day.
Exactly.
And Jesus he still don't take no days off.
Right. You know, so the tradition of
that is something. To rest, to take that in to rest, that is something.
Yeah.
You know?
But does that mean you don't do what God tells you to do, you know, at that moment because of a rule?
Right.
Okay, so we quote scripture. He said, is it wrong to do good on that day? Or is it evil?
Which of you has a sheep fall into a ditch? And say it's the Sabbath. He knew who he was, and he knew this is good that he's doing, so he didn't let them people stop him. Because why are you mad that he's healing people just because of what day it is? You mad because you can't do it? Don't read the Gospels around me, because That's all we have for today's episode of FTK. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And remember, it's not personal, it's just kingdom business.